All right, welcome to Mildly Interesting. If you haven't been here before, prepare to be underwhelmed by things that are kind of okay, I suppose. We'll start off with number 19. As usual, a water drop fell on my wallet from the AC and made a skull. Huh, that could be a logo for something, like a band or a clothing line. Or you could just make wallets that actually have that, but embroidered on them or something like that. Also, why is there just like a straw wrapper on your wallet? I'm super confused by that. Were you eating at a table and you were like, oh, I don't know what to do with my straw wrapper now that I've taken it off the straw. You know what? I'll just put it down on my wallet. That way I won't forget to throw it out later. Something like that. And also there's water dripping on my wallet. Where did you put your wallet? Why is it just, you're like, all right, you know what? Just trash. Come to my wallet. This is what it deserves for some reason. I'm sorry that you don't respect your wallet. It looks like nice fine leather. You should. This quartz line separating two parts of the same rock. Damn, that's like super flat. Can someone get a level up in here? Just like a virtual level. Put it across. Ensure that we're actually, you know what? My eyes are pretty good. Yeah. As far as I can tell, that is 100% perfectly level. And it's like the same dimension from one side to the other. I don't know how that happened, but it's pretty darn cool. Also, I hope you didn't take it with you because it's probably not okay to take things from wherever that is. Looks like a state park because I'm good at identifying when pictures are taken at state parks. It's a special skill of mine that you weren't aware before. I'm mildly interested by this. These removed fish hooks at my local ER. People catchers. No, I'm just hoping that these are things that got caught in various other parts of humans. Not actually the mouths, not actually people who are like, you know what, before I go and fish, I feel like I need to empathize. I need to become one with the fish. Feel what it's like to actually be caught. All right, Billy Bob, come on, throw right in my mouth. Let's see, you know, you've tossed food into my mouth before. Toss that lure, I'll chomp down on it. You can hook me, and then I know what it's like for the fish. It's all about that empathy. And now, oh, we have to go to the ER and get this out because actually it has a barb on the end and I can't pull it back out through. That's unfortunate. Whoopsie daisies, didn't think about that part. Okay, let's not do that again. You know, anecdote though, from when I was younger, was on a really small little boat with my dad, my stepmom, and then some family friends, a couple other kids. One of the kids who was on the boat with us, we're all fishing. It was, in retrospect, just too small of a boat for this. He does the pullback to throw out to cast the fishing line, and it just hooks my stepmom in the ear. And so he goes to cast and it stops, and it's just, you hear a yell. And I mean, whenever you get, you know, in the head, when something pierces the skin, it's just bloody all over the place. And it was a scary looking thing. Did not seem terribly pleasant. It does happen. Can confirm. I've witnessed it firsthand. Fortunately, no hospital trip, though. Smoke so bad in Washington State that it's hiding the mountains. Yeah, I guess that's from all the fires that are happening in BC. I guess it's no good. Granted, like the press coverage that I've seen has been fairly limited. So I don't know too much about it other than it is very bad, and I wish you all the best. Hopefully, any of you folks watching this are not terribly affected. And if you are, I hope it resolves itself soon. But it's always a really eerie, ominous look when you have smoke coverage, that yellowish orange tint. So yeah, scary stuff. Been a bad fire season. The paint on this building is the same shade as the sky. Oh my God. Some like James Bond active camo right there. What in the world? I like how you took this photo. I don't know if it was on purpose or not, where just the light post is exactly on the dividing line between this building and the other stuff. So it almost looks like something has just painted over the other building over here, but then it's not quite done yet. They're trying to just make this area disappear so people driving by have no idea it's there. We've been getting too much traffic, all right? The advertising worked too well. The lines are around the block. Let's just disguise this place. Make sure nobody knows it exists except our existing customer base. This pic of my friend's catch today looks like a bad Photoshop job. How? Is it a bad Photoshop job, though? Because It could be. I really have no way of knowing. You could actually have photoshopped this and then post it on the internet like, oh man, isn't it weird that this looks photoshopped even though I actually did Photoshop it? I guess under some situation, the lighting could just be really weird. I guess you could get that kind of cutout effect, but it could be photoshopped. I'm skeptical on this one, but I'll take your word for it. Just some really weird, it's like you forgot to turn on ambient occlusion in your video game graphics settings, and so you got that, you know, pre-better lighting Minecraft effect going on right there of things just kind of looking like they exist, but you don't know where in the frame. There's nothing to indicate that they're like standing on anything. I don't know, it's just weird. This paw has a small paw mark. Pawception right there. It's almost impossible, if I do say so myself. That's very cute, though. Also could have been drawn on by Sharpie or just stamped on there for the sake of getting some karma. But this ain't karma conspiracy over here, okay? We're going to take your word for it. Just like the last one wasn't Photoshop. A B2 flew directly over me today. So much for stealth, man. Thought those things were supposed to be invisible. Have some active camo. I know it's invisible to radar. It's not actually an invisible jet, which was very, very hard for me to grasp when I was younger. I was like, what's the point of all these stealth bomber things if you can still see them? Shouldn't they be invisible? They keep saying they're invisible in the description. What's the point? I can see it. Am I special? Am I the only one who can see these airplanes that are supposed to be all stealth-like? Doesn't seem like they did a good job designing them because I can see it. Kind of defeats the purpose, huh? I feel like we're still waiting on that active camo, okay? Need some James Bond tech right here, right now. 115 cents in a class action lawsuit against Uber. Well, you got me beat. I got $2 out of a class action lawsuit with the local power utility company. I was like, wow, this is some big money. Big money to whammy. Pretty much cover the Ford GT. I was pretty stoked on that. I was like, all right, dude. This is, thank goodness I was able to offset that expense. Super stoked on that $2. I guess in most class actions, that's probably what the payment ends up being like, but it's just a massive amount for the actual one making the payment because it's like probably 50 bazillion people that they're paying out. So yeah, adds up quick. My girlfriend's grandpa with a picture of his grandpa with a picture of his grandpa. Now, that's not very fair to whoever the next generation is, because it means they're just skipping generations here, okay? It's like you're only getting the 3, the 5, the 7 here, and it's unfair. Honestly, what about the 2? What about the even numbers? All right? Give the even numbers some love here. Just like, sorry, you're not eligible for the pictureception because, yeah, we skip every generation, so sorry, you're excluded. Also, you're not in the will. We only include people in the will who participate in this photo. It's actually the official documentation for who should, receive the money from the trust. So you're just out of luck. Bummer, nothing you can do about it. Better luck next time. Better luck next life if you have one of those. The way this burger pillowcase is folded looks like Bowser. Oh, yeah, kind of. It's just, I think it's because of the similar color scheme. I mean, if you just look at this here, this part of the burger pillowcase, it kind of looks like a couple Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle bits, kind of, like some shells, some face. So I can see how that is, right? It's just, it is that part of the burger, just kind of the eye, and then the other one, that's the other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. And then I guess you get the Bowser spike of the sesame seed. Also, I think this is at Target, and Target has some pretty good value on various everyday household items. I recommend it. This is not sponsored, but I happen to buy a lot of, just if I need some random thing around the house, non-grocery related, Target's generally the place to go. So I should buy myself a burger pillowcase. My local vet has a sign and candle for when someone's pet is dying. When this candle is lit, it means someone is saying goodbye to their beloved pet. Please try to be quiet and respectful at this time. Now, you see, the problem with this is you're at a vet's office, and so I don't think that the loudness is really the humans, probably a lot of barking. And I don't know, dude, dogs, man, just so rude. that they can't really read the sign, know that the candle is lit. I mean, geez, can we at least train our pets so that when there's a lit candle, they can just not, bark or meow? It's just truly inconsiderate that more pets don't realize this. Like, unbelievable. The logo for this pet transport company has 5 different animals in it. All right, let's see. We got a fish, a snake, a parrot. It looked like a claw at first, a cat, and a dog. It's cool. Yeah, it's a cool logo. I mean, they could add more if they wanted to. They could make the dog inside of like another negative space kind of thing. Like, honestly, they're forgetting pet lions, pet tigers, pet monkeys. I mean, what, you don't service those? You're excluding all the exotic pets that should never actually be pets to begin with? I mean, just expand your roster. Jeez, unbelievable. I mean, just my zoo out in the backyard. I need someone to service it. It's a joke. I don't have a zoo. I also do not support the keeping of large animals, like that, unless it is for the sake of, healing injuries, that sort of thing, like what actual zoos do, and try to, help with animal population and conservancy, things like that, This empty bag of blood looks like a snowy mountaintop. I'm just like, part of me is just kind of grossed out by the whole thing. The other part of me is really fascinated by the fact that it almost looks like a bunch of pixels of blood. It's like whatever the texture of the bag liner is, has this kind of capillary effect with the blood only being in particular spots in these diagonal lines. And also, it's just kind of gross that it's a former bag of blood. I don't like that, because I think the way that the blood got there in the first place is it had to get a needle into an arm, and then I don't like needles. I don't like metal things going into flesh. Just don't do it. It's so bad. It's so bad. I'm getting like itchiness on my back from nervousness. This unicorn picture is different in the mirror. That's kind of cool. So they they did one of those little hologram things, I assume, where it's like if you pivot the angle that you're looking at something, right, it has that texture and you're seeing 2 different images, except they lined it up. That's a cool idea. It probably looks kind of janky, though, when you're not completely stationary taking a photo of it with your phone. As you're walking around the room, you're probably like, you just got the angle right here, but otherwise it probably looks kind of weird. The morning rain makes it seem as though the guy in this ad is sweating profusely. This looks like it could be a meme image. Like, he's just really trying to fake that he's okay in this really awkward situation. Fake it till you make it. Also, just totally sweating profusely. Oh God, I really need to go to the bathroom, but this is a very important speech that my CEO is giving right now, and I can't leave. Oh, it's really hard holding this in. Oh God, that meal earlier is really not agreeing with me. This sucks terribly, but if I leave now, it's not going to be good. Everyone's going to look at me and they're going to wonder why I'm so inconsiderate and rude. Just, come on, just, oh God, that's totally what this looks like. He's trying really hard to keep it in. You poor guy. Just go to the bathroom. You can do it. The modern tomato versus one grown from 150-year-old seeds. Yeah, I know that when it comes to a lot of different types of fruit and vegetables, there's a lot of modern engineering that goes into developing the most efficient kind of seed to grow crops. And there's like a lot of changes that have taken place in modern times. Like if you look at old bananas as well, I think they're like real thick and squat and they have a ton of seeds in them, versus modern day bananas that you buy at the grocery store. They're pretty long, slender, don't have very many seeds in them. So the same can be said for like lots and lots of stuff. And I guess it helps for the ability to mass produce crops to sustain a larger population. That's kind of the idea of the whole thing. And so they look more appealing to the eye, so you want to buy them. This window that makes my backyard look like it's in 4 different seasons. Kind of. I mean, all this here kind of just looks like one thing, but then you have the super duper dramatic contrast of the fall leaves. So yeah, I see it. It almost looks like there's this wallpaper that I've seen before that has just, it's like a rainbow of different panes of nature photos. I think the people have done it with a bunch of different subject matters, whether it's nature photos or, I don't know, just a rainbow of panes of different imagery. And this kind of is that, except it's not a rainbow. And if it weren't for, if you cover up this one here, it's not as dramatic, but it's still cool. The golf balls at the mini golf on this pier are biodegradable and fall into the sea at the 18th hole. Your golf ball is 100% fish food. That's interesting, except how in the world, it must be, I guess it reacts with the water, because otherwise I'm like, how in the world can I whack something with a golf club and it not shatter into a million pieces, but also it is food? Is there any other food item that you could, a jawbreaker, maybe? Could you golf with a jawbreaker? I feel like that would eventually shatter. Would that make it through 8? All right, I feel like this is a video that needs to be done. This is some kind of Mythbusters looking experiment here. If I go to mini golf soon, I'll undertake it. I'll bring a jawbreaker along and probably get yelled at by the employees there. Like, what are you doing? Why are you using that? You need to actually buy a golf ball. I'll be like, I bought one, but also I just want to use a jawbreaker. I feel like I need to test this, because if you threw a jawbreaker into the ocean, I'm sure it would just dissolve into sugariness that fish would be able to consume. But I now want to try mini golf with a jawbreaker. Sounds like a plan. Who knows if I'll follow through on it, but that would be mildly interesting to see if you can play mini golf with one. So anyway, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Make sure to like if you liked. Check out, no playlist yet on Mildly Interesting, but check out other videos on the channel. And subscribe if you are not already. Sounds like a great idea. Good stuff. I'll see you later.